body and your mind outside of the norm. Doing something that you don't want to do is something you feel within like your mind. Like your body is a machine of habit. So when we build certain habits and we allow our body to become comfortable in certain routines, when we try to break outside of that routine, break outside of our norm, it's innate for us to not want to do it because our body has not fully accepted that. Our body is not used to that. Our body does not want to do things unless we train it correctly to do things that it doesn't usually do. So doing things that you don't want to do usually come from your body and the fact that it's run by your mind. Through the programming, the deep programming that has consisted for you for so long. So say you haven't gone to the gym in your whole life, or you haven't gone to the gym in 5 years and your body's become accustomed to that and complacent with not working out and not exercising. You might have a jolt of inspiration. Some people do to go exercise, but then quickly you'll meet a point where you don't want to go. Other people, they just don't want to go because they just haven't been there in a while. And that's, like I said, because their bodies are used to not having to go. It's kind of like allowing a child to not have any responsibility, to not have any chores, so to speak, or not help around the house for the first 13 years of their life, and then all of a sudden telling them that they have to do the dishes and they have to do the laundry. They're going to be more resistant to, if you were to start your child at a young age, incorporate them positively in acts of service around the house, right? So your body's kind of the same way, and you have to look at your body and your mind as a child. And I feel like this is just a major life hack, when it comes to learning new habits and doing things you don't necessarily want to do but you know you need to do and you know are good for you. Think about it as if you're parenting yourself, as if you're reparenting yourself, because you are. You're reparenting yourself, you're retraining yourself. Now, when something doesn't align with you, you are going to feel that in your heart, you're going to feel that in your gut, you're going to feel that in your throat. When something doesn't align with you and it's just literally not for you, and it's something you don't want to do because it doesn't align with who you are, and it's not going to bring you to the best results or the outcomes that you want, you're going to feel that in your being. There's going to be a difference. There's not going to be a laziness in your body. There's going to be an uncomfortability, almost like tensing in your inner being. When something doesn't align with you, often symptoms will come up. You'll get sick, your stomach will turn, you'll get a headache, you'll feel weird, your body will tense up. And for some people it's subtle though. Sometimes it's subtle. When something doesn't align with you, you'll just get a uncomfortable feeling within your body, usually ranging from your throat to your sacral chakra. Personally, I believe when it comes to feeling, you're feeling most in your heart, solar plexus, and sacral chakra, right? That's where your feeling senses are expressed from. And for me, when my stomach gets in knots, my throat gets in knots. So my throat chakra will also, mess up when my heart chakra does, or my sacral or my solar plexus does. So when something doesn't align with you, 77 on this license plate, 7700. When something doesn't align with you, it's going to feel reverberating through you. It's going to reverberate through your body. It's not going to be it's not going to be a laziness. It's not going to be a thought that comes. It's going to be a feeling that you have. When something truly doesn't align with you, you're just going to feel a feeling that doesn't feel normal, doesn't feel good to your body, whereas doing something you don't want to do comes from a thought. So when you can get aware enough to notice where these feelings are coming from, are they following a thought? Are they following a thought, or are they just a innate feeling? This is how I feel like you can navigate through life a lot. This is how you use your internal compass, by being aware of where things are stemming from in your a lot of us, like I said, it comes very subtly. When something doesn't align with us, it'll come subtly, and we'll have like a quick feeling like, ooh, maybe it's not right for us. We'll have a feeling that doesn't really match our vibrational frequency. But a lot of the time though, we push past it and we ignore it because we think it's irrelevant. And which is crazy to me, because we honor our thoughts. We're taught to honor our thoughts more than our feelings, and that's just like a crazy, we just need to rewrite that narrative as a society as a whole, because your mind is a broken compass that's just leading you towards all you've ever known. It's going to keep you going in a circle, whereas your heart is basically the compass that leads you to like your northern star, you know what I'm saying? The path that's most destined for you. I spoke about that a little bit in another video, but in this video I just want to touch on the difference, because I used to have a really big issue with telling like if it was my intuition or if it was my anxiety. And when you become aware, this is the key here, awareness. When you have a feeling come up of anxiety and you're like, is it anxiety or is it intuition? Like, what is it? If you were aware enough in the moment before, if you can trace back, okay, did this come from a thought? Because anxiety comes from a thought. Or was it more of just a feeling? Did it start with just a feeling? Like, I'll give you an example. Like, when I was at a New Year's Eve party one year, I got so sick. I wasn't drinking. I was engaging in other things, but I wasn't drinking. And I got so hot. My face turned pale. My eyes were like bright green. I couldn't hear anything. I was sick. Like, I needed to go. And so even though my friends were acting like little wee-hoos that night and they didn't want to leave, we ended up leaving. Right after we left, someone called us and said the party just got shot up. And where we're from, I mean, that's kind of sadly normal, but people were shitting their pants. People were calling their parents. People were scared. And that, for me, is an example of intuition. That was divine right there. Like, I could hang, you know what I'm saying? I never experienced sickness like that before off of, the substance that I was engaging in. But besides the point, that's a feeling. Like, I just felt sick. I didn't think I was sick. I felt sick. I knew I was sick. It wasn't a thought. It's like visible. It's physical. Like, it became physical because it was a huge feeling within me. So honestly, so grateful that happened. But an example for a thought would be, my boyfriend goes out. If I have a boyfriend, my partner goes out and his phone dies. And initially I'm like, his phone's dead. That's the reality. But then all of a sudden I start having a thought like, what's he doing? Who's he with? Is he safe? Mostly though, admittedly, like, who's he with? Is he doing something he's not supposed to? And then this is when I start feeling negative emotions in my body. This is when I start feeling negative feelings. Whereas when I got sick that time, and this was something that didn't align with me, it started as a feeling, just a huge, intense feeling. I didn't think something's wrong. Something just physically felt wrong and came up and was like, hey, something's wrong. Like, I didn't have to think that something was wrong. My body was telling me something's wrong. Does that make sense? I don't know. My phone stopped recording, but does that make sense? That's just all I really wanted to touch on for this video, because it came to me today. Like I said, it was like a quick download, like very quickly. This is when I was sitting with myself, very quickly. When I watched my friend's video, I forget what he was saying. I think he was talking about criticism and like understanding if the criticism is just someone else's judgment or if it's literally something you can fix. But yeah. So when I had that quick download, I was like, holy shit, like, it stuck out to me more. Like, when I'm coming to these realizations, a lot of the times, guys, I'm coming to them in real time. Like, when I'm recording this video, I came to the realization hours prior, like, solidified realization. And some things, like, I know, like, pre-existingly, however, like, they get re-solidified, you know? Because, like, if I learned algebra, I couldn't tell you how to sit here and I couldn't tell you seen it again, it's like, oh, okay, it's like I have another example that brings it into question, and I'm like, oh, yeah, this is why I know that. Some things I feel like I know, it's like I know it, but like sometimes I have to re-feel it, you know? See, that's the difference. Like, sometimes I know it, but like I have to re-feel it. Like, when you're feeling something, that is the key. Feeling is key. When you can feel it, that's when you know it's important. And when it's just a feeling, like when it's initially a feeling and not initially a thought, that's when something's like, pay attention to it. So I love you guys. Hope you love this video as much as I loved recording it. I love recording in the car. I didn't think my phone was going to stay up where it is, but it has been, and I love that for me. So I love you guys, and yeah.